This podcast represents the opinions of the hosts of the Laugh Cry Club and guests on the show. The content here should not be taken as medical advice and is for informational purposes only. And because each person is so unique, please consult your healthcare professional for any medical questions. While we make every effort to ensure that the information we share is accurate, we welcome any comments, suggestions, or correction of errors. Welcome back.
Welcome
to the Laugh Cry Club. It took me a second. I was like, welcome back
to Laugh Cry Club. This is a club for everybody too. Welcome.
Welcome to the club where everyone is welcome.
Yes.
My name is Joy.
I'm Rebecca.
And we're sending hugs to Chelsea.
Yes.
Remember, that's what we're doing. We're doing that until she comes back. We love you, Chelsea. And I can't wait to see her when she's ready to return. This week we start as we always do. We share a laugh and a cry from the week, and then we have a couple questions we didn't get to last week, so we'll answer those. But just as a reminder, we are 3 licensed therapists all across the globe with over 20. That's my new thing. I'm not going to stop saying it.
We're all across the globe.
We're just jet setters with over 20 years of experience working in mental health fields, from working in the justice system to working in medical facilities to working in telehealth companies. So we have seen it all. School-based, families, we've done it all. Couples. Private practice.
Yes.
So we have some knowledge that we just would like to share. You know, why keep this to ourselves? We have secrets to the universe. It's up to us to share.
It's too good to keep secret.
Yeah,
we're here to tell you all the secrets about therapy. If you want to know, just ask. We'll tell you.
Ask. So thank you so much for being here. As always, you can follow us at Laugh Cry Club on social media and send us emails to laughcryclub@gmail.com if you would like to ask us a question that you want answered on the show. So should I nominate myself for the Laugh and Cry of the Week?
Do it. I love this. Take charge, Joy.
I'm just trying to get it done.
I want to check in too about how your challenge to yourself went.
Yes, about the not caring what other people think.
Yeah. How's it going so far? I need to check in.
Well, and I joke when I was listening to the episode today, because we're recording this a little bit early when it's released, so we're kind of close to the last time we recorded. So not a lot has happened in the past few days, but I'm like, I really do want to leave my house more. I'm not like a shut-in, but I do get to a point where I'm not socializing a lot. So that may have to do. I think it gets worse. In all seriousness, I do think COVID really took my introvert side and kind of ran with it, because I have a tendency to really just want to be home and really just want to be comfortable and really not, I'll go out and go grocery shopping, but I don't want to go out at night. I don't want to go out to get dinner.
That's
everything.
So much work.
Okay, at least that
have dinner, I want it to come to me in delivery.
Okay, great. At least I'm not alone in that. But sometimes I do feel okay. But it made me kind of think about, I do want to make more of an effort to be uncomfortable, quote unquote. I'm leaving out of town this week to go see family. And I'm like, okay, that's good. I need to get out of my comfort zone, because I can be such a homebody, because it's fun. I love being in my little introvert bubble. Okay. So to your point and the question of not caring what others think, I've been thinking about it, which I think is a great step of it. Even if I'm starting to think about what other people might think, I don't know, I wear really loud clothes. And so if I'm walking down the neighborhood thinking I wonder what they think if these shorts are too loud. I do. Yeah. I wear pretty
loud shorts.
I recently bought this pair of shorts that are red with all of these it looks almost like stickers. The Olivia Rodrigo cover with her with all the stickers on her face. It's those shorts have the stickers all over them. They're kind of just loud, and I like this brand called Free People that has really fun, funky, athletic wear. Anyway, so there's things that I'll wear that are kind of loud prints, neon stuff. So every once in a while I get self-conscious it's weird, because I like wearing these things, but then I don't like the attention that it draws.
You know what's so funny is sometimes I like these things that are not in my wheelhouse of color, color palette I wear.
Sure.
And I want to wear them, but then I'm afraid of what people are going to think. They're going to be like, why are you wearing like that? Because it's so out of ordinary, but I kind of want to. I just want to be free and wear whatever I want to.
I want to be free, honestly. And there's nothing holding me back other than I live in Colorado, and sometimes I'm like, there's really cool, fun shoes or I don't know, outfits that I always look at, but I'm like, where am I going to wear like a sequins halter top? You know what I mean? Like, I don't
go podcast. This is where you wear it. Hello.
You know what I mean, though? Like, I'm like, because I'm very frugal, too, so I don't spend money if I'm not going to wear something. Anyway, but, like, it's a form of dopamine dressing where I feel like it doesn't have to be black or white. I can probably skate more towards the middle where I'm trying to buy things that I truly do enjoy, like these loud shorts that I'm like, they're comfortable, they're like sweats material, and they're loud. And I will wear them in Colorado because they're like sweat shorts, So trying to skate that line of really wanting to just dress up like I live in Los Angeles, but I'm like, I can't really afford that, nor is it really practical for someone who lives in Colorado, but also having my flair. Does this make sense to anybody?
This is making sense to everybody. I think everybody can relate because we all go through this probably of like, you see certain things, you'd like, I would like to get that. And then sometimes I get it and I think, I look ridiculous in this. But then other people will be like, you look fine. But I feel like, I don't know, I'm not me. I don't know, it's a weird thing.
Right? I know, it is a weird thing.
But I love your loud shorts. And I think people are just like,
I'm going to post
there's
a picture
our star. There's our star with the sunglasses, the hat pulled down.
I'm going to
pretend you don't see me, but you do.
Like, I still wear glitter on my eyes. Like, I love glitter,
so just daily you wear glitter?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. I love this for you. Does the glitter ever get in your eye? That's my concern.
Sometimes you have to be very careful about, like, I wear liquid liner with glitter in it, so it's liquid, so it doesn't really like fall into your eyeball. But man, I've been wearing glitter since, I don't know, I want to say like my late teens. Like I have not given it up. That has always been okay. I'm going on
your
such
laughs
a
and
tangent.
cries.
My laughs and cries.
But I love that. That was great because I think everybody can relate to it.
Well, I just wanted to make a joke really quick that people are probably laughing and crying because they're so bored with this conversation.
They're like, what? We tuned into a mental health podcast.
Snap
and what the
to it.
Flip is she talking about her loud shorts because nobody cares.
God. Okay. Locking it up. This is where I miss Chelsea because she'd be like, all right, let's get back on track.
Keep it on track.
So my laugh is really funny because it involves a Zoom call where I will often take calls outside if it's like, I don't know, if it's just more like an informal meeting and it's pretty quiet in my backyard. So like not a lot going on. And sometimes I'll just sit in the backyard and the dogs are around me. So every once in a while, the dogs will sit next to me and they'll kind of like pop their head into the shot. So people will be like, oh, it's your dogs. I'm like, yay. I was on a call with like maybe 4 or 5 people. So it wasn't a lot of people. But I had it on like kind of a blurred background. But so you could still kind of see what's happening behind me. So the dogs are playing and we're almost about to hang up. And we were dog sitting at the time. So there's an extra dog. And Joe starts humping this other dog behind me. Like in full shot in the Zoom screen. Like it was, and I immediately moved the camera like to kind of like pull it up to where it was almost like you could only see like my eyes.
That is great.
And I don't think anyone saw it because it was almost like it wasn't a full shot, but it was enough to where you couldn't fully see Joe going at it. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. And we were like fully almost done with this call. And I was cheeks turning red, embarrassed. And I don't think anyone saw it because I didn't see anyone's reactions. Like no one made a reactions. And someone was like in the middle of a sentence too. So I could tell that they were like probably concentrating and not anyway.
Maybe they're just really chill too, that they wouldn't make a comment.
Maybe you're right. But I was so embarrassed also. Just like, I don't know. It was, I
love this.
There's coworkers that you could probably like make a joke about it. But these were coworkers that I don't know as well, so I didn't want to be like.
So it wasn't like
if I was on a work call with you, exactly. Yeah. I'd be like, oh my God, did you just see my dog humping in the background?
Can you believe Joe's got it?
Oh,
Joe is
so
asserting
funny.
Dominance right now.
I mean, it reminds me of that. Remember in the pandemic when that news reporter was doing an interview and his kids burst into the room behind him?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Was that? I mean, and it just like took over the internet because
and they were trying to like put I think weren't they trying to push the kid back like totally out of the frame, and then the nanny comes
like
in?
falls and like I think the pants fell down, like someone's pants. It was so funny. I think the best part though, if people don't know what we're talking about, just Google like kids barging into a news, like he was not doing a news interview. So they had him on a Zoom, like a Zoom interview screen. Yeah. Oh, I just remember the people were like analyzing it of like how he had put like a cover over the bed to make it not look like a bed and put like a stack of books on the bed to make it not look like a bed. I mean, it was just like the level of detail. We were very bored during 2020, but my favorite part was when the little kid barges in with like, you know, they're walking in that like walker thing with the round play thing around them,
so they can zoom around pretty quick.
Oh,
on wheels.
So I mean, that was like it was a Kool-Aid Man moment.
Yeah, trying to push the thing away, like out of, and then here comes the nanny, like oh my gosh.
So like, oh, I mean, chef's kiss perfection of a viral video, like just truly. Okay. My cry is more of like, I don't know if this ever happens to you, but do you ever get like a nostalgia cry where you just start thinking about the good old days?
I can't wait to hear what your good old days were that you were thinking about.
Well, I was doing, this is so silly, but I was doing this Peloton workout. It happened to be an 80s run. And so it had all of these 80s songs. And it just made me, I wasn't like bawling, but I was just so, I love how music can truly just like take you into a completely different mindset. So it was like Eddie Money and Tina Turner, Cyndi Lauper. I mean, just all of these songs that meant so much to me. So then I just am transported to being a kid and those songs. And I'm like, oh, I mean, this is like how core memories are made, where I'm in my parents' car and I can even like, you can like sense it, where I'm like driving down the road with my mom and like, you know, we're listening to the radio and life was so simple. And I just love those moments, but also they make me kind of cry because you're like, wow, life was just life. And yeah, those were the days. And
you didn't have bills to pay.
Honestly, the 80s is just, I would really argue if there's a better decade than the 80s.
That was nice.
Okay, speaking of the 80s, Heart, one of my favorite bands, is coming to Red Rocks.
Are you going?
I think I really need to.
You better go.
I mean, Heart is like
Ann and Nancy.
Some of the best 80s music out there.
I'm trying to contain myself right now because anytime I think of Heart or hear their music, I want to like
sing it.
Well, that, and I want to do like a leg kick like Nancy Wilson does. I'm really containing myself right now. My legs are like wanting to like kick in the air, but
you know that video, These Dreams, where she does the kick in the video? Like that video is one of the videos that is like seared in my brain of just like the 80s, watching that video.
I love it.
I'm like teleported. So it was a great, and I'm fresh off like the Pee Wee Herman nostalgia a few weeks ago. So did you ever get to watch it?
I did watch it. Oh my gosh, so good. Wow. He was really given the documentary, is it a producer or whatever, a hard time.
Yeah, he
was. But I'm like, in a way, he kind of reminds me of myself in humor.
That's
like the
funny.
like kind of the interrupting, or like we're supposed to be getting down to business, but here I am making stupid jokes and just being irritating like a sibling.
Yeah. Like the time where the documentary, the producer's talking to him and Pee Wee just keeps interrupting him and going, this is it. So
that's so me. I have to contain myself.
Genius. Like I would argue that he really is a genius. That is that.
Watch that documentary. It's so good.
I think as we collect our memories and ourselves, and as we get older, I think what is it about that? You know, like, do you go on nostalgia cries, or like just at least nostalgia trips where you're like teleported like back into a moment of being younger?
I think my nostalgia cries are about like when life gets really hard, and I think about how easy it used to be, and like when you just want like say a parent to come scoop you up and like set you up in front of your favorite cartoon shows, or like, you know, like Captain Kangaroo or the old Price is Right, when you stayed home when you were sick,
when you stay home and watch Price is Right,
and you know, and this like brought you food and just like you don't have to
soothed. You were
you didn't think
soothed.
about anything about what except for what you're doing in the moment, really.
Yeah, it's like
so I
such
do
a
get
fun
those.
time. But, you know, it was also a hard time. I remember at the time, like, never wanting to go to school. I was like, I don't want to go to school. I mean, I liked school, but... And then my cousin is visiting right now. She is a graduate student at Arizona State University, which is where I went to undergrad. And I just, hearing her talk about it, I'm like, I want to go back to college. Like, I had the best time in college. And again, it was so hard because I had $0 to my name and I was like just scraping by. But man, did I have a good time.
You were having a good time. Like, yeah, how did we do it? I mean,
how did we do it? I honestly, Rebecca, I think back on the days when I was in grad school and and look, this is like my own personal experience. So I don't like comparing like money stuff because everyone has their own journey. But for me, I had to budget. I chose to budget and really could only afford $30 a week for groceries. Wow. That was in 2001. Okay. So like but you know, I think of like now.
Definitely shopping at Aldi's.
I was shopping at, I think King Soopers was our grocery store.
Okay.
And I literally survived off of oatmeal. I would just get the huge, like buy it out of a bin, like by the pound.
You must have liked oatmeal.
I mean, I survived off of it. That's all I ate was like oatmeal. I ate a lot of carbs, but...
Back then you could eat a lot of carbs.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was running marathons and stuff, but like, I think back of like, I remember getting anxiety if the bill was more than $30. I remember being like, shit, I went over budget this week. Anyway, but like the whole point of that is like I don't look back and think like, oh, I had no money. I look back at how much fun I had.
Yeah.
We always make it work.
We do. What. We need to take a page out of that playbook. Make it work. Okay. Have fun.
Make it work. Have fun.
Don't care what people think. If you don't have the money, that's okay. You can find a way.
That's okay. You can find a way. And wear whatever you want. Wear all the fun
Wear whatever you
things.
Want. That would be fun. So
you're up.
My laughs and cries. Oh, man. My laugh. I've laughed a lot, but it's been hard to remember all the laughs because there's been so many. But I think the biggest one was over the weekend. We were talking here at my house and Robin said the word adequate. And I'm like, it just hit me as really comical for some reason. I just don't know. I haven't heard that word adequate in a very long time. And I think probably what it reminded me was of Apoquel. Like, I think that's for dogs, like in fleas or something. Or is it for dogs with skin issues? I'm not really sure.
Like a medication?
Then I started riffing. So we do this stuff at our house. Like, somebody says something funny, and then it becomes like this riff of...
I could see that.
Yeah. I mean, you guys probably do it too, don't you? Do you guys just riff?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's so fun. And then
Scott comes up with the funniest things, and it makes me laugh.
Scott and I in a room together.
Yeah, I think you guys would have a lot of fun.
We'd be riffing. You'd be like so done with us. You're like, I'm gonna have to go out now, which I don't want to.
I'm gonna excuse myself.
I have to leave my own house. But so I just started riffing about making adequate, like, oh, it could be like one of those drug commercials. You know, we all see them, we find them annoying. And then, they go into, and I was just imagining in my head, like, you're doing normal things and you like have this bottle of like adequate showing up in your normal day routine. And then, the whole spiel of this may cause you to have bleeding ulcers and sudden blindness and, what are hemorrhoids or whatever it says.
Hair loss, depression,
heart attacks, suicidal thoughts, etc. Like all the things, like basically when you hear all those disclosures, it's like, why would I want to take this medicine? But I was just thinking about, so we were just doing the whole thing of like how terrible adequate would be, like, and going like, yeah, so you can't, like, you have struggles meeting your goals. Well, that's okay. Take adequate. And then we were talking about, like, in the reasons of the harm this medication may cause you. It may cause you to have sudden job loss, end of marriages, best friends leaving you because you're so freaking adequate now. Essentially, like, you're not the best. You're just adequate.
You're just adequate.
I'm adequate. I'm mediocre. And then, it's like, well, the world needs mediocre people too.
They really do. They really do.
It's all about balance. We all can't be number one. So anyway, that was just cracking me up. So, because I get these great ideas. I'm like, oh, that should be a sketch.
I was like, that could be a fun little SNL sketch. Yeah.
Yeah. And like, oh, that made me think too, because the other day Robin had 2 different socks on. And I'm like, are you really that colorblind? Because she always says that I'm colorblind, because I'm like, they're different colors, but they weren't.
Yeah.
One had like a yellow stripe on them. I'm like, why do you have. And then she went into the spiel about how one got lost and then these 2 found each other and they had a marriage and all this thing. It was hilarious. So
there's just like a constant storytelling going on at your house.
Totally constant. And then my cry, I didn't really have tears today, but I have just had one of those Mondays where it's like everything, and it doesn't seem to go right. And I'm actually on my second Red Bull now, because I'm like, is this going to make it right? I really hope so, because the day is running out.
I saw the Red Bull.
Second one, and I had coffee today. I'm like, what is wrong with me? Like, I thought this was at a different time. I'm like having all this anxiety, like I'm panicking about and then I was like,
well, maybe it's because you're on your second Red Bull.
I thought I was late to this recording, and I'm like, well, why the hell? It's 20 minutes in. Why didn't Joy text me? Like, Joy is so chill today. She's like, yeah, we'll just do this whenever you're available.
Just whenever. I'll just sit on this call.
Oh my gosh, am I missing this? But yeah, just some other things have happened too, and I'm just like, what is going on? And these guys had this equipment in my yard. Like, my neighbor and I share a line, and they're doing stuff in the alley, right? And this is where I don't understand. How do these companies, I think this is the AT&T fiber they're running now, how do they just come into your yard, rip it all up with their big ass equipment, and nobody ever asked you?
Oh, yeah.
It's not the domain. What is it? The public domain. There's like 5 feet from the side. Mm-hmm. No, this is a full-on big freaking
like an overhaul
caterpillar
of your yard. Yeah.
In my yard. And I'm like, don't tear up my yard.
You gonna go out there with your
I did go
shaking?
Out there.
Yeah.
I took a picture because I'm like, what is this? And then I'm like, oh, great. My mowers are here now. And they were blocking this whole area. And I'm like, they're not going to be able to mow this yard. Now, this is totally first world problems. But it just goes with, I had so much anxiety today. And I'm like, of course. They're not going to be able to mow this section of my yard. And I started almost having a panic attack about that. It's so crazy.
I think, let's check if I'm like, is there a full moon today? Because I swear on days like that, that's the only explanation that I can give.
I'm gonna have to check, but yeah, I've had a lot of anxiety today.
Let's see if it shows the moon. Today's moon. Daily astrology. Let's look. What's today? Today's the 9th?
The 9th.
Today's moon is in Scorpio.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know.
That makes so much sense, because I am a Taurus, and we don't do too well with Scorpios.
Really?
Yeah. Are you a Scorpio?
No, I'm a Virgo.
Okay, I figured. I was going to be really surprised. My mom is a Scorpio, and my sister is a Scorpio. And so, growing up, it was those two, whoa. And then me, I'm just like, this is too much. Well, so I think that makes sense. Go. It's like, it's just giving me the rub today.
What's your sign again?
Taurus.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to read your horoscope.
All okay. Right. Here's my horoscope, everybody.
Halfway through the day. Today's Mercury-Jupiter alignment can give you a nice boost of mental refreshment, dear Taurus. It can leave you feeling quite motivated and directed. As you see the big picture of a situation, you feel more equipped to make long-term decisions. You may plan or map out some strategies for improving your relationship with money, or you could come up with fabulous ideas about how to use your resources more effectively, like the adequate skit.
The adequate.
You're in great shape for dreaming up possibilities and thinking in big terms, particularly when it comes to business, financial matters, or comfort and security. You can be excited about exploring and building on your talents. You could be buying or selling, but you should watch for impulsiveness. While practical matters are certainly favored, this is also a fine time for feeling optimistic on personal levels, as well as for coming to happy agreements with others. Both Mercury and Jupiter are finishing up in your resources sector, and it's a good time to review what you've learned about your self-worth, talents, and resources. So there you go.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of good vibes coming in.
Good vibes, but maybe it's going to kick in here in a little bit, because the day so far has not been that way.
It'll kick in at 3 p.m. today.
Yeah. I think what happened too is we had some really bad storms over the night, and my sleep was really disrupted because here's the other thing I want to know. Mm-hmm. So we have storm sirens, and you all probably have them. They go off now during severe thunderstorms. And I'm like, why? I just want to know. I want the siren to go off when it's time to get in the closet or go to the basement,
exactly.
right?
Like exactly. When it's time to like really
but now,
get serious.
Like, they started going off at like 9:30. Well, first there were fireworks for some reason. Then there was the storm alarm at like 9:30. I'm like, it didn't even seem bad. It was just for a thunderstorm warning. And then there was a really bad storm like later in the evening, like lots of loud thunder, but it didn't go off again. So I don't know. It was just like very disrupted.
That can help. That can't help.
That can help you be adequate.
That can really help you be adequate. That can really hurt your brain function in the morning, or at least
totally.
Like
that's why you gotta have
but
two
also
Red Bulls.
Sometimes, like I think about being in perimenopause and how brain foggy I can be.
Yeah. Like, hormones could have something to do with this as well, I'm sure.
Truly, it's fun. Real fun. Okay, we are going to finish our questions that we got from the last episode and then wrap it on up. So
that sounds great.
Let's start with a question a listener submitted. Heart goes out to this family. The question says, I recently lost my brother to suicide. Tips to support my parents from afar. And they sent a follow-up question, like DMing us, and I'll try to keep it super vague because I don't know like how much they're comfortable with us sharing. But basically just said the parents live kind of far away, and they live far away from each other, and they're struggling to find effective ways to support from afar. They said they're old school and a bit adverse to seeking help and being actively involved in various therapies. This listener's profession has like a more logical view on the situation, and they're struggling to assist them from their point of view. So what do you think would be helpful as far as, I mean, first of all, this is just a devastating loss that anyone I would hope never has to go through this, but unfortunately it's a reality that happens. And when that happens to a family, it can really pull families together or push them apart because everyone deals with grief differently. This kind of goes to, I was actually talking to a family member about this the other day with some people in my family of how they deal with trauma, which is generationally speaking. Let's take, for example, like my parents weren't taught how to manage their feelings, meaning like or process their feelings, let's say. So they had a lot of trauma growing up, but they didn't process it. They didn't have the tools they just stuffed it in. The mentality, I've said this before, it was just, you just kind of keep going. You pick it up and you move on. So it's a foreign process to then all of a sudden be talking about feelings. I'll give you another example here, and this is related, but this will be a little vague because I don't want to air my family's laundry. But my mom's side of the family recently had like a big spat at like a family gathering they were at. They had like a family meeting over something, and my dad was there, and he called me. I have never heard him so upset. And he was like, I want to leave. I want to get out of here. He sounded like a 12-year-old boy. And I was like, what is happening? He's like, I don't know. They're fighting. Like, there's some like stuff my family's side has to work out. And they were trying to work it out, and things got heated. And my dad was there, and he heard it, and he was very, very upset. The next day, weeks go by, and I was processing that with him, or at least just kind of talking to him. He doesn't do much processing. But he said, oh man, when I was a kid, there was just so much fighting around me. I don't do fighting. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense, Dad. Like because his stepdad was really abusive and not a nice man to him. And so fighting for my dad is shut down. Get me out of here. We don't talk. We don't do. And so that was like, that's an example of, at 83 years old, I'm not going to ask him to all of a sudden, like, let's sit down and journal together. It's just not going to happen.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just an example. But like, here is something where you have different tools, because I obviously have very different tools. My profession is to learn how to manage emotions and help process emotions. But here's an example of my father and his generation, how he was raised was stuff it under the rug. So how do you then support someone who isn't in a space or doesn't really understand how to deal with a loss like that?
That is hard. I would say you remain curious and try to learn about what the other person's needing or how they're coping. You just show up and hold space.
Yeah.
That's all you have to do.
Yes.
And you don't have to be in person. You can do that from afar. It's like be that you can be the bucket and you support. And so how do you do that? If you're far away, I think you send maybe a message to somebody. Hey, just thinking about you today.
Thinking about you. I think the hard part is that oftentimes, and we've said this before, when you're supporting someone going through something difficult, you don't want to say the wrong thing. You don't want to do the wrong thing. And also this listener said themselves that, hey, I deal with it in a much more logical way. So they may be thinking about it more about like, they don't want to get into the feelings part. You know what I mean? Like maybe that's just where they're at. So I think just showing up in a way of labeling it and saying, I'm here for you. I know we're all going through a really hard time. I'm here for you. I'm thinking about you. I think one of the damaging things that I've heard families talk about over the years is that it was never talked about, meaning, hey, after this sibling passed away, nobody said anything. No one even acknowledged it. And I think that causes a lot of hurt in a family. So even just being the example, kind of like what I was talking about last week about the teen and the parent, was showing up and not necessarily having to fix anything, because there's nothing to fix here. You will never fix a hurt like this. You can just show up and label it, name it, and say, I know you must be so devastated and grieving. Hopefully you're taking care of yourselves. How are you taking care of yourselves right now? Making sure they're getting out of the house, making sure they're, feeding themselves, like just even the basic needs of making sure they're giving themselves nutrition through grief, which is not the first thing that people think about when they're going through a hard time. So those are the basic things I would think about. Just don't make it complicated, but also it doesn't have to look like this long process of going to therapy right away. I mean, honestly, therapy is not always the answer when something like this happens. You go through such a shock. I've had some friends in my life who's lost people tragically like this, and they're like, I think they're so afraid of the grief swallowing them whole that they just want to immediately go into therapy. And I'm like, just so you know, you will take some time to just like let this fucking settle a little bit. It's okay to go to therapy, but I think people use it as a way to run from the grief swallowing them, where I'm like, unfortunately, you have to let the grief swallow you, because it's fucking terrible. Having said that, therapy's also fine. But I want people to understand, like, you're going to be okay. You will get through it as long as you have a support system around you. But if you don't go to therapy right away, you're not going to just, you're not going to ruin your life if you don't go to therapy right away after experiencing a tragic loss like that.
Yeah, I mean, some people come into therapy pretty quickly and it's not really effective then, right?
Exactly, because they're still in shock. And look, I will always say that caveat of like, there's always outliers. There's always people who are like, oh, it saved my life. I'm just saying, as a whole, we've seen the spectrum of people who come in and they're like, I don't even know where to start. I can't even get my thoughts together to speak about this. And so that's okay if you're in a space like that. It's okay if you don't feel like going to therapy for 2 years. And hey, maybe your therapy is taking a walk every day, crying your eyes out in the shower, calling a friend, and just going to lunch once a week just to get out of the house. Like, that's okay. Like, there's nothing that is textbook about any of this.
I think the biggest thing we can do is just get out of our way and don't overthink what you're doing.
Exactly.
Everything you were talking about,
right.
Just show up. I'm thinking about you. If you're concerned about them taking care of themselves, I think that's where you could be thoughtful and think about sending like little gifts to them. Maybe you send them a meal. There's all kinds of things nowadays you can send people just to outreach and let them know that you care, to try to make sure that somebody's eating or whatnot.
Yeah.
So
the question also, as I was reading it again, was saying they're a bit averse to being involved in therapies. And I really do want to reiterate the importance of just talking about what happened and honoring your brother's name and bringing up his name and letting them cry. And I'm not saying like, every time you talk to them, but the avoidance doesn't help, because like I've said, people will say something happened and then we never talked about it because people don't want to process the pain. Well, it's important to bring it up and say, what's on your heart today? Or, what's going on with your brain today? And really bringing it to the forefront of, are we going to celebrate life on the anniversary, or are we going to have a little something to get together, or even just like a phone conversation on his birthday, wanting to kind of keep the conversation going, because that if they're not going to go to therapy, which again, like I said, is fine, keep talking about it so that they can cry with you. I will often do this with my mom with certain things, and I'll bring it up because I know she has to talk about it, but she avoids, and I'll bring it up and be like, so what's going on with blah, blah, blah. And she'll get tears in her eyes, and it's clearly uncomfortable, but I'm like, this is good. This is her emoting. And I think we all need that. I'm not talking about like every, like, you know, you get what I'm saying? Like there's a balance. I'm not saying to like make someone cry every time you see them, but it can be those moments with someone that you care about to bring this hard stuff up. Like I have a friend who lost their son to suicide, and every once in a while I'll text them to be like, you've been on my heart, because they think of this every day, every single day. You know, it's like, I think with any death, the world keeps moving, and this is with them every single day. And so even just sending a text to say, you know, I've been really thinking about you with A, B, and C, because I know this reminded me of your son. And, you know, and there's such a stigma. I think people have said before, like, if you bring it up, it's going to, you know, they're like, I don't want to bring it up and bring up an upsetting topic. They are thinking about it every single day.
Every single day.
So you're not bringing up something that they're, you know, not already thinking about and struggling with every day. So that's just, it's being there is so helpful.
I think along with the avoidance is it's okay to say their name. It's okay to talk about them. They have a name, they lived a life, and it's important to have conversations about them.
And even just like have fun memories about them. Like, hey, remember when we used to do this? And like, gosh, I really miss the days. I was talking about this the other day with an uncle that I lost, where I was like, gosh, when we were growing up, we had like just the best times. It's totally therapeutic to relive those fun times as well. So really keeping that spirit alive. So hopefully those suggestions help. And I'm just sending your family lots of love.
Yes, lots of hugs, lots of love. It's really hard.
So the last question is about birth order. And I know we're short on time again, which we were last time. And Rebecca made a joke because she's like, you think we can cover birth order in like 5 minutes? But here's what I'm thinking.
Birth orders, I think we can.
I think we can try. I think we try to like just scratch the surface. But it says, talk about birth order and sibling dynamics. So here's what I would just like to.
This is one of my favorite topics, by the way.
Is it? Why don't you go then?
Actually, when I was a school-based therapist, one of the groups I ran was a sibling group.
Oh, cool.
Oh my gosh, so much fun. And I had like maybe 5 sets of siblings. I think they were all like 2 siblings. So two siblings. I'm like, why am I trying to explain 2 siblings? Everybody knows Rebecca. It. They know it's Monday. What did I tell you?
It's that Monday, yeah.
It's Scorpio.
Yeah.
I think birth order is so interesting because I think most of the time we would say birth order matters. However, guess what? It doesn't really. Like there's no, I looked to see what the research was on this, and there is no real research study that says like your birth order really matters. There was a study that was done, it was a Norwegian study, and the only thing they found was that the oldest had a slightly elevated IQ score over the others in the family, but it was just like a 3-point difference. So that's not even huge.
It wasn't super significant. Yeah.
No. So birth order itself is not significant, but I know we all see there's differences, right?
Yeah, there's differences, and there's definitely characteristics to types. Like they talk about the middle child syndrome, and
which is true. I mean, there's some of that too, but it's not about the order they were born. It's really more about the parenting styles.
Yes.
That actually is affecting these differences.
Like the types of parent that they got, because every child has a different parent when they are going through childhood. Meaning it's always going to be different. They're going to treat the first, the second, the third. They're always going to treat them differently. Yeah,
you do. And parents like to say, I don't treat my kids differently. I know that you try not to, but we can say you do because it's impossible. It's impossible. Different people.
Like take Gabor Mate's. Exactly. Like take Gabor Mate's theory where he talks about how the firstborn, you had your parents' undivided attention for however many years until the second one was born. So that is automatically a different experience from the next child.
So it's parental attention and parenting techniques, and then socioeconomic status also really determines how their kids' personalities and things like that.
So what are you on the birth order?
What would you guess?
How many siblings total do you have? It's 3 of you?
Just you just have 1. You're going to give me 3? Wow.
I thought you had 3 total for some reason. I thought you had 2 sisters, but you have 1 sister, funny. Right?
Yeah, I have a sister.
And she's older.
Wrong.
Oh, okay, you're older.
I am the oldest.
I don't know why I thought.
You thought I was the youngest?
Yeah, I was totally wrong. See, this is why I
carry so much responsibility and anxiety.
You can't predict someone. This is where birth order comes in. It's like you can kind of tell, but
you can kind of tell. I think It's interesting because I think most people would say firstborns are more organized,
they're like
more
leaders,
rule followers, leaders.
Responsible.
Yeah. That also, I think it has to do with the parenting, probably the generation in which you were raised too.
For sure.
I was raised.
For sure.
I was born mid-70s. So, those were, and in the 80s, it's like responsible because you had to do it yourself. That's when you had a lot of the whole latchkey kid thing. Parents were at work. You were at home by yourself. You had to make your own food.
Yeah. I had to make my own cereal when I got home and we watched cartoons when we got home from school. I was a total latchkey kid.
Yeah. So it's that really has something to do with it as well. And then you have that middle child. And I think we all would probably say it's like these are stereotypes too. Like the middle child has it bad because they're not getting any attention and they're fighting for attention.
They're overlooked because they're just kind of and they have to be adaptable and they have to be the peacekeeper. And,
But that might not be true. It might not be true at all. And then the little one, the baby, we think, oh, they're the baby. They get their way. They get to do whatever they want to. It's just not necessarily
and
true.
by then the parenting might be more relaxed because they're not as anxious after the first, second kid,
Yeah. It's I know people that are the baby of the family, but they're actually the most responsible.
Sure.
They're more responsible than the first one because the first one was out screwing it all up and just making crazy decisions for themselves. And the parents were like, well, what are we going to do with this kid?
Then we're also not taking into account, was there trauma in the household?
Yes,
was there alcoholism in the household? Was
so
there
many layers?
And you're talking about socioeconomic status because, what if the kids had to contribute and help pay the bills? I mean, there's
or parents had multiple jobs, so they're never
so many different roles of single parents, people that having grandparents raise you. I mean, these are all things that contribute to that, and where then the sibling or the child has to step up and do some other type of role because their parent isn't able to. So I'm a twin, and that's a very interesting dynamic because I could go into this for hours and hours about twins, but looking back, I always had someone to compare myself to. So no matter what, you were always compared to someone, not out of, anything bad or negative, but it was always what's Jay doing? What's Joy doing? Where's are they on track, or what is she doing? What are her grades versus his grades? So it was always that type of, I always had someone to compare myself to. And I really noticed it when I got to junior high, and it was very clear my brother is excellent at math and science. He has the science and math brain. Obviously, he's a pilot. He went to the Naval Academy, engineer, just brilliant brain when it comes to math. I hated math. So we then went these directions where I was artsy fartsy doing dance and really into art and really into English literature, and he went super smart with math, but he excelled at everything, so then I was
so hard.
Oh, it was so hard because, and my parents love us equally, but they didn't see these little things that I saw, such as he at one point got a 4.2 weighted GPA one year, and they blew up his report card and posted on the fridge a poster size of his report card, and I was and I got a 4.0, and
they didn't post
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So things like that were
proud,
so proud, and I was thanks a lot, guys. And the joke, so it's also just those little things where you constantly had this person to compare. And this sounds really weird, but I'm going to say it. He was kind of my first partner in a way where you're you just have
he
this.
Was your first partner. I hate to break it to you. You guys were holding hands.
We were holding hands in the womb. We were just, and still in a different way, obviously, as adults, but it crushed me when he went off to college. I was just devastated when he left. Wrote him letters every week, like a pen pal, how much I missed him. I would visit him at the academy at least once every other month. I would my dad was working for the airlines, and so we got standby tickets, and this was before airlines were insane, so you could actually get on a standby ticket. And he was when he got married, I literally felt like I was losing him.
Oh.
Yeah, because he did everything. Sad. But it's it's funny to look back at because I don't shame myself. I kind of make fun of the fact. I'm so embarrassed to admit this, but it's funny now. But his poor wife. And really anyone who has a twin that's close, like they're probably all nodding in agreement. Like, yep, I get it. But when they had their wedding photos done, I literally was in some of the photos, like with the three of them. Like, because we were like,
who had you in there? Like
I did. I was like, I did. I was like, I get to be
photo.
Yeah, I was like, we were. I'm so embarrassed, you guys.
In this photo.
There's a photo where we're walking. Oh, I'm so embarrassed. I can't say it. We're walking down the beach together, all three of us holding hands. Like we have a photo of the three of us. Oh my gosh,
Joy! You should put this on a T-shirt and wear this to whenever you see.
You know you're married to a twin when they absolutely insert themselves in
the wedding photos.
Yeah. But honestly, I was probably 24. Like I was still real, like having a hard time with him. Like, you know, having his own life, you know?
No, this is normal.
Yeah, I do think so. Like, and then of course, like as I grew up and had my own partner, I was like, oh wow, I'm so embarrassed that I did that. But he grew up faster than I did, like matured more than I did. Like I was like so
interesting because girls mature faster.
Yeah, and I'm the oldest technically, but
you are.
You know, I was like sowing my wild oats in grad school. I was having a blast. I was partying like crazy, and he was very just like ready to like settle down, and I was the farthest from that.
He was in the military too, so maybe he was missing that family, and so he thought, Yeah, and I mean, he met an amazing girl. They're still married. Like they have 3 kids. Like, but we took very different paths in life. Like I didn't want to have kids. Like I got married a little bit later. I mean, compared to him. But anyway, all that to say is siblings are. Oh, that picture. I still like if I ever see that photo, I'm always like, please put that. Please burn it. It's so embarrassing. I want this photo. I want to see it.
Well, I'm going to go see them this week, so I'll have to find it. I'll have to find it. I know I'm like, Krisha, his wife's name is Krisha. I'm like, how did you ever, I mean, she just knew that like, that was our bond. Like I was very selective.
Loves you too. She knows that she was marrying you as well.
Yes, exactly. It's like signed up.
When somebody has a dog or kids, you know they're marrying. It's
kind of like that when you're marrying a twin. I got to tell you,
I bet.
It's kind of nutty. But
do
anyway,
twins ever like not like each other? That's a whole conversation.
I'm sure they're out there. I have like it was odd because I knew I have a handful of twin friends.
Interesting.
And some are really close. Like I find the ones that are identical. Like I have a identical friends, identical twin friends, and they talk every day. I don't talk that often to my twin brother, but because he's not like hip with the phones and likes texting. He just doesn't like, he's never been like hip with phones.
He doesn't know how to use his phone, but he can fly a plane.
But he can fly
upside down and backwards.
Upside down and backwards. Yeah, and 12 inches from another jet. Like
wow.
Yeah, I don't. Did I ever send you the video of him doing the flyover at that football game?
Yes, that was so cool.
But he can't work his phone. So we don't text that often, but I do. And then I have like twin friends who don't really talk and they're not super close. But it is very fascinating. Like siblings. It is. Sibling dynamics I could talk about all day long. Great question. We love all of the questions. So if you ever have a question, please, you can message us on our Instagram page or email us too. You know where to find us. And thank you so much for supporting us over the almost 1 year that we've been doing this. You're getting ready to say the years. Big old party. Years, you always. I don't know this is a Kenny Rogers song, people. Love Kenny Rogers. So thank you so much for supporting us. You can share us with a friend and just keep spreading the good word that this is the club that everyone wants to be in. Yes. So until then, we will see you next week and we love you. Next week. Bye, everybody. Bye-bye. That's life, baby.